What's up guys, Jordan here, and today I'll be going over all the big news that was announced out in California today at Apple's WWDC 2011 keynote. Now, Steve Jobs did host the keynote, and there were three big things that he was talking about today. The first being Mac OS Lion, then iOS 5, and then a new service called iCloud, which nobody was really sure what to expect. The first thing, of course, is they went over sales numbers and different things like that. And then they jumped into the top 10 features in line. The first being multi-touch gestures. This is nothing really new, but they did talk about how there's no more scroll bars. And this is really just showing how much they're pulling from iOS UI and that whole kind of iPad feel and putting into Lion. The next thing they went over was full screen apps, and they showed off a couple different applications and how well they work with full screen apps. Then they showed off Mission Control. Mission Control is really a slick program. It shows all your different applications and programs that you're working with. Then up at the top it shows all your different spaces, and then at the top left hand corner it shows a place for all your different widgets. You can actually swipe in between different applications now. And then during this time they also showed off a cool photo booth effect, and I'm sure there's going to be many more, but it actually followed his head around. The birds followed his head around as he moved back and forth, so that's kind of cool. Then they talked about the Mac App Store, and it's now built into Lion. There's in-app purchases and push notifications now, and it's actually the #1, the Mac App Store it's the #1 place to buy PC software. And then they went over Launchpad, and Launchpad is a great way for organizing all your apps no matter where they are on your Mac, and it has folders and really an iOS way of arranging all your different applications. Then there's something called Resume, which saves the state of your computer and how your windows are opened and everything. It saves it just the way that it is currently, and you can actually restart your computer and it'll come back to that exact same state. Then they went over autosave, and autosave obviously just automatically saves, and it's integrated very well with the next big feature called versions, and this saves different versions of a document, and it's very much like a time machine. If you've ever dealt with that, you can go back in time and see the different versions. Then they went over something called AirDrop, and they hope that this will save what they call the sneaker net, is when you put a file onto a flash drive and then you run it over to a friend, give that flash drive to them, and then they transfer the file, and that's how you're moving around files. They want to change that, and this is a local area network sharing service, and when you open it up you'll see all the different users they can share files with. You just drag and drop files onto the different users that you want to share files with. There's no setup, and there's auto discovery of different Macs. And then they talked about Mail, and Mail, the big thing was just kind of the new layout and interface. You can really see that it pulls from iOS. You can see the whole message on the side there, and then all your different messages and previews of the message on the left hand side. Then there's also some new features in Mail, such as new searching options and new conversation view as well. And then there's also a feature to take out all that forwarding and replying kind of garbage that gets stuck at the top of emails, so it's just the message that you're sending to each other. And then some other features that will be in line are Windows migration, File Vault 2, and FaceTime, and there's over 3,000 new APIs for all you developers out there. Now, when will Lion be available, and how will it be available, all those types of specifics. A big thing is that Lion will only be available through the Mac App Store. So you just go into the Mac App Store. You won't buy a CD because they won't make any CDs, so it'll all be downloadable, and you just download a 4 GB file. There's no need to reboot or anything like that, and it'll automatically update your system to Lion. And a really cool thing is that you can use it on all your personally authorized Macs, so there's no need to buy multiple versions, and it will be $29.99, and it will be available today for developers, the developer build, and it will be available for the general public in July. So that's some really exciting stuff coming up in Lion. And then the keynote switched to iOS news, and real quickly I'm going to go over some of kind of the numbers and data that they always give us at the beginning. There's now 200 million iOS devices sold. Their market share, iOS devices, that market share is 44%. You can see all the other market share there as well. There's now 90,000 iPad apps, and Apple has written, or not written, but has distributed $2.5 billion to developers. And there's also 1,500 new APIs for developers. But then there's 10 big features that they went over in iOS 5. And the first one that they started off with is notifications. And this solves the annoying pop-ups way of notifications how it is right now. This notification center honestly looks a lot like Android. As you can see, you pull it down from the top. It's a lot like Android, but Android really they really took the right approach to notifications and really nailed it right on the head when it came to notifications. So Apple kind of copying them in a way isn't all that bad of an idea. Also, they showed a little animation that pops up at the top of a screen when you're playing a game. Also shows notifications on the home screen, and then you just hit the little X to the right of the notification to get rid of it. Then they went over something called Newsstand, and this is for magazines and newspapers, and it's really a mix between iBooks and just a regular folder, as you can see there. And new issues are automatically downloaded. Then they talked about Twitter and how Twitter is implemented into the operating system, and tweeting is now a new action, kind of like how emailing is an action in iOS. And then there's what they call a tweet sheet, and this is kind of the basic thing that will come up in all Twitter-friendly applications. Then in Safari, they have a few new features such as Safari Reader, a Read It Later feature, and also now they have tab browsing. Next, they talked about something called reminders, and it's a little bit more than just a basic to-do list. It actually has this really cool feature where it sets up what's called a geofence, and then when you actually leave that area, so when you, let's say, leave work, it will send you let's say a to-do list of groceries that you need to get at the store. So that's really cool, and it syncs with iCloud, of course. Then they went over camera, and there's now a camera shortcut from the lock screen, and you can actually take a picture using the volume up button. And there's now some basic editing options such as cropping, rotating red eye, and one-click enhancements. Then there's only a few really updates with mail, some minor updates like now you're able to flag a message, and there's actually a dictionary throughout the whole, a dictionary that's operating system wide, and then thumb typing feature for the iPad, so you can actually type like that on the side. So hopefully that'll help some people out that are kind of slow with the iPad typing how it is now. Then they went over some features that they refer to as PC free. And when they say PC free, they don't mean PC as in Windows, they mean PC as in just computer free. So whenever you buy an iOS device from now on, instead of it saying this when you first open it up, it will now say this. It'll just say welcome. You'll now be able to set up your iOS device from your iOS device. You won't have to plug it into a computer, because they're trying to make the iPad a post-PC product, and you can't have the iPad be a post-PC product if you have to plug it into a PC to set it up. So you can now do everything just using the device. So there's over-the-air updates, and also you can now create calendars from your device. So you could just buy an iPad and that be the only personal computer device that you have. You don't need a regular computer any longer. Then they went over a few quick updates with Game Center. You can now add photos, there's recommended friends and games, and you can download games from Game Center. Then they went over iMessage, which is a message app for all iOS devices. You can send text and videos and photos between different iOS devices, and it works over Wi-Fi and 3G. And there's 200 new features in all. These are the big features that they went over, but there's 200 in all, and there's now the ability to sync an iOS device with iTunes over Wi-Fi, so you no longer have to plug it in to iTunes to sync. Now, when will it be available? Well, the developer build is available today, and this fall it will be available for the iPhone 3GS, iPhone 4, both versions of the iPad, and the iPod Touch 3G and 4G. Then Steve Jobs came back up onto the stage to talk about something called iCloud, and he started off talking about iCloud by how the PC has really become the digital hub. And when I say PC, again, I just mean the Mac or Windows computer. It's become the digital hub. You modify something on a device, then you plug it in to the PC, transfer that, and then you transfer it to your other devices. Everything runs through your PC. He wants to make the Mac and PC just another device and make the iCloud the digital hub. So your iCloud will store all your content and wirelessly push it to all your devices, and it's integrated with all your apps, so everything happens automatically. He showed it off first with contacts, calendars, and mail, and really it looks a lot with these applications. It looks a lot like just how Mobile Me was, but the big thing that separates it from Mobile Me is that it is absolutely free. So you no longer have to pay for this great service. They also showed iCloud with the App Store, and it shows a list of all the different apps that you bought, and then you can download them to all your different other devices for free. You don't have to pay anymore, and then you can also set up automatic downloading. So when you download an app on one device, it automatically downloads it to your other devices. Then there's a feature in iBooks, which is much like the Kindle's Whisper Sync, so it remembers where you're at in a particular book. So no matter what device you go to, whenever you pick up that iPad, it'll start you at the same place that you left off on your iPhone, for instance. And then there's also an automatic wireless backup service. So if you got a new iPhone, you just type in your Apple ID and password, and it automatically downloads all your content. So there's all the specifics about the wireless backup. And then he went over 3 more applications that iCloud works with. The first was with documents. So it works with Keynote and Pages and Numbers, and when you create or edit a file on, let's say, your iPad, it automatically gets updated on all your other devices as well. And it's a really great solution that was needed in the document editing for iOS devices, because the current way was just really it wasn't easy, and it was really an annoying way to have to edit, or not edit, but have to transfer your documents from device to device. Then he talked about PhotoStream, which how it works is when you take a photo, it gets put on the cloud in something called your photo stream, and your photo stream holds 1,000 photos, and it will keep it there for 30 days. And if you don't do anything within 30 days, then it will slowly be pushed off there. But if you want to keep the photos that you've taken, you just add it to a new album. So if you take lots of photos at the beach one day, then you come back, they'll already be on your iPad, and if you want to save them on your iPad, then you just create an album and it'll be all good to go. And this works with all iOS devices, iPhoto, and the Pictures folder on PC, and also works with Apple TV. And then the last thing that he talked about with iCloud was iTunes in the cloud, and this allows you to download all previously purchased music from iTunes to all your other devices for no extra charge. And there's also that automatic download to all devices feature, the same with the applications. And in the demo, they hit buy on the iPhone and it automatically popped up on the iPad. So some really cool features there. There's, like I said, like I just went over, there's 9 basic apps that iCloud works with, and they are all free. You get 5 gigabytes for storage for mail with iCloud, and you actually get more because there's all that storage for PhotoStream and those other apps. And iCloud will be released with iOS 5 in the fall, and iCloud with iTunes, though, is available right now. And then Steve Jobs said, well, there is one more thing. And the one more thing was a great feature. Currently, if you want to spread all your music to your all your different devices, there's 2 ways of doing it. You would have to sync it wirelessly or via the iPod cable, or you could buy all the music that you haven't already bought with iTunes, because you need iTunes Music to spread it using iCloud to all your different devices. Or you can use this third thing that he talked about called iTunes Match. And what iTunes Match does is it scans and matches your iTunes library and all the different music that you've gotten from CDs or Amazon or wherever you've gotten the music with the iTunes store, and it makes it as if you bought that music from the iTunes store. So for instance, your CD quality music would be upgraded to a 256 kilobit per second AAC DD, or not DD, but DRM free songs. And the cost for this service is just $25 per year, $24.99. So that is iTunes Match, a really great way to manage all your music, even if you didn't buy it through iTunes, and you're actually upgrading your song quality, and it's not atrociously priced. They then showed it compared to Amazon's music service and Google's music service, and that was Steve's one more thing. And then he closed out the keynote presentation by talking about a new server farm out in North Carolina, and he talked about this really just to show how much Apple is really going into the cloud based computing. And then he ended the keynote for WWDC 2011. So I know this was a lot of information, but thanks for watching this video all the way through. Comment below what was your favorite feature that was announced today, and what was a feature that you thought was going to be announced but wasn't announced. So comment that down below. Tell me your thoughts and opinions about the keynote, and then subscribe up above for videos of great quality. I do Mac tutorials, Objective-C tutorials, app reviews, and Apple news. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next video real soon.